Welcome back to our third discussion where we are now going to look at what coaching is all about. And I would want you to check the other two videos. One, talking about how to professionalize a family business. And the second video, our discussion was on how to read through influence and not power. So this third video...
Enough power, but not only power.
Thank you for that. So in this video, Mike, those other two videos, Mike mentioned, he kept talking about coaching. And I thought it's important that, he goes in depth onto what coaching is all about. So Mike, when I hear of a coach, or the first time I heard of a coach, business coaching, I equated it to, what I see in football. There's someone here who's reading the 12 players. So coaching, what is coaching? And is it just a fad or there's some substance behind coaching?
Well, if coaching is done well, it has enormous transformative impact. When I think of all the activities that I'm involved with, all the components as a director, as a consultant, involved in voluntary organizations, not-for-profits, corporates, government. The highest impact time I engage with a client is when I act as a coach. To put another way, it's a mindset. My mindset is that of a coach. And it's at the other end of a spectrum from a lecturer. When I was chairman of the council of KCA University, I worked so hard with my wonderful Vice Chancellor Naomi Damba and the other leaders of the faculty to change the mindset of the lecturer who's there at the podium and I know and you don't, to the mindset of a facilitator, which is what a coach is. So that with a lecturer, you've got your notes or your script, and you start and you finish your lecture, and then if you're really nice and you're not rushing off to the next university to deliver the next lecture, you kindly allow them to ask questions because you have the answers.
So coaching is not instructional?
No. So now, for the coach, for the facilitator, I have the questions because you have your own answers.
Okay.
The wisdom is within the room. The wisdom is within. So my job is to help bring it out of you.
So the assumption is that the solutions, they lie within the coachee.
Yes, yes,
Interesting.
yes. Which makes you feel good and own what it is that you want to do differently. Because of a purpose, because of a benefit. And to make sure that you have the strength, the boldness, the courage to follow up. Which is why coaching, of course, is not a one-off thing. And so we have a first coaching session, getting to know you, talk about different things. And by the end of it, there are some takeaways and some activities to try out. So that at the beginning of our next session, I'm listening. So what happened? What worked well?
Interesting.
What do we need to celebrate?
Yeah. Okay.
What challenges were you still facing? Why? Now let's talk about what to do about them. And even where you did well, how now to take that to the next level of continuous improvement. These are the sort of conversations. And one of my favorite books that I came across some years ago is by a guy, I think he's died now, I'm not sure, Ed Schein, emeritus professor at MIT.
Yeah.
And this book is called Humble Inquiry. So as a coach, I ask a humble question. And I listen.
On the answers.
Listening.
Listening.
Asking, not telling. and we have a conversation. And we check in from time to time about the so what of the conversation within it, and then beyond it and prior to the next one.
So is coaching the same as therapy?
Well,
Sometimes, especially for men, they would fear to see a coach because
yeah.
they don't want to be seen as weak. They don't want to
Vulnerable.
be open, to be
Yeah,
vulnerable.
yeah.
So where
Well,
is the place of coaching and
therapy is associated with counseling, with psychotherapy, with psychologists, with psychiatrists. I'm not any of those. However, I am not of the view that when you engage in executive coaching, that you completely cut yourself off from other aspects of a person's life to the extent that they influence their professional
their
lives.
performance, yeah.
If they do need therapy of some sort, professional therapists, one of these types of characters, yes, they should go and see them.
But coaching, executive coaching is distinct from therapy.
Yes,
Okay.
and counseling.
And counseling.
And life coaching versus executive coaching. Now the question is, here we're assuming that there's an external coach, someone away from your own organization. But the more immediate question is, if you are my boss, do you act as a coach to me? You should. To get the best out of me, to help me fulfill my potential, and for you to nurture that growth. And if you're not doing that, the whole business of performance improvement and performance in management and appraisal systems won't work. So this coaching mindset within an organizational coaching culture is so important, and yet still certainly here, so rare.
So hold on to that a lot. So I want us to look at two things. So there's that coaching mindset, but before we get there, so there's someone watching here and saying, when do I know is the right time now to engage a coach? Whether I'm a business owner or I'm at executive level, what are the signs that I need to look out for?
You know, you could say that any time is the right time.
I don't have to wait for a crisis.
The challenge, in a way, in a country like Kenya, is that still coaching is very much an emerging phenomenon.
Discipline.
So it doesn't occur to most people. And as you say, is why would I need it, you know, and feeling vulnerable. And yet, the more you read contemporary thinking and literature about leadership and self-development, the more people are advised to have a coach. It's now the new norm in terms of what's advised. But what's advised universally is very much not yet what is practiced here. And because it's such a minority activity, so no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
could you
vulnerability is key.
Is key, yeah.
And that it's okay to feel vulnerable. So how do I work that out, that it's okay to be vulnerable, and particularly to be seen so about by those around me, below me, alongside me, and above me? How does a coach help me develop my confidence?
Your confidence, yeah. Do you have an example of an individual who you coached or someone who sought your services and this is where they were coming from, and within 1 year of your coaching services you're able to see this transformation?
Well, yes. These are people, and not least in family businesses, where they're letting go, they're trusting people more and seeing the benefits of including people in decision making, having say a strategy retreat that I facilitate that is not only the family directors but the heads of department who are saying, gosh, they included me for the first time, and this flattening of the pyramid where in between the formal sessions I'm having one-on-ones with, say, the owner chairman, advising him on how to step back, how to ask questions, not tell, how to allow the flow without him being at the center or everyone rightly or wrongly feeling that he wants to be, that he has to be. So it's the individual coaching within the group coaching. And this group coaching is very interesting. I was mentioning to you before these 2 workshops that I was part of with someone from the World Bank in coaching the deputy governors in 2014, soon after devolution came in, as to how to find a legitimate value-add role for themselves, and one where they could do it in harmony with the governor. And like, for instance, being coordination and implementation, like Mudavadi now is being asked to do, and to some extent Gachagua, by President Ruto. So how do people like Mudavadi and maybe Gachagua develop their own coaching mindset as they work with people on setting performance goals, managing implementation of strategy, using impact-focused indicators? All this requires them being coached because it's new to them. And they're not going to go and do a degree or even, attend a 6-week program at Harvard or USIU or wherever, Strathmore. And the coach offers a safe space. The coach is a safe ear with whom you can be open, whom you trust, to be confidential, to be your supporter, your champion, to have you become bolder without taking undue risks, and to celebrate with you on your journey as you achieve what maybe you thought you never could or would, because you've proved to yourself that you're not stuck, that you can let go of dysfunctional habits and start behaving in ways that are better for you and for those 360 degrees around you.
Interesting. And there's a phrase you've kept on using, coaching mindset. Mindset. What is it all about?
It's about what I've been talking about. That I'm not instructing you, I'm asking more than telling, I'm listening, and then I'm building on what I'm hearing. So I ask a question, you tell me something, and I say, it's interesting, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
How did this first start?
Okay.
Is it working well? So it's like you're interviewing me now on something else.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing you, and you are revealing to yourself things that wouldn't otherwise have occurred to you, but not just out of academic or theoretical interest, but with a view to becoming more effective and to enjoying life more. To me, that's also critical.
Okay.
Have a good time doing good things, not either one or the other.
Fantastic. And what about, as we come to the end now, self-coaching? It's a term I've heard used now and then. What does it mean?
It means having conversations with yourself, where you divide yourself into the one asking the questions that have to occur to you, and the one reflecting on the answers,
Okay.
and reaching again
Yeah.
some outcome with consequences that you follow up on.
Being your own coach.
I've been unwell for some months now, and I had that big COVID. And so I have had to coach myself on discipline, on diet and exercise, and making sure that I do what I have to do in order to maximize my recovery in the shortest time. I have been a very significant coach to myself, knowing also that too many doctors are so focused on the technical aspects of their work that all that they think is not for them. Which medicines, which diagnosis, etc. If anyone has talked to me about this mental health and discipline and stuff, it's some of the nurses.
Wow.
And as I've asked them, so how have I been as a patient when I've been in hospital, they have observed that I am disciplined, that I have this positive mindset, that I continued using my laptop even though I had very limited strength. And it was because I was my own boss, my own coach, helping me do the best I could under the circumstances.
Yeah. Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Mike, so much. First, for reading, agreeing to this interview. Like you said, you've not been feeling well for some time now, but and yeah, you agreeing to meet us here and share your knowledge, your expertise. That's something that I really do appreciate. And for me, the takeaway is that we've got to be intentional. Whether it's professionalizing the family business, whether it's reading by influence and not power, and even whether we are ready to be coached, it's all about being intentional.
Including by ourselves.
Exactly, yeah, self-coaching. So I really do want to appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And for those of us who've been watching this video and even the other two videos, please, if you do have a question or a comment, leave in the comment section below. And if you'd want Mike again, why not? I'm sure he'll be able to create some time and still be able to come and share his expertise. So thank you, Mike. Asante sana. And look forward to hosting you another time.
Thank you, Permanus. It was nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Karibu sana.